I just want to say thank you for making this movie possible, and because it was so emotional to watch, not just because I'm a woman or a journalist. I think it speaks to everybody, and in some scene, I literally felt like helpless, and are the one in the scene in which the women says that they felt like to be the problem, and I'm thinking about how many people all around the world feeling the same way for similar reasons. So what the movie can do to help them, and what can we do to help them in this sense? It's a question for both of you.
Well, I think, how you spoke is so beautiful. And I think this movie is completely universal. I think abuse and, the destruction of lives happens everywhere. And, in the industry and in Italy and France and Germany and, it's not just Hollywood where abuse is run rampant. And it's not just in, our profession. It's in journalism. It's everywhere. Women have and men have taken the hit, and but I think this film and I think these two remarkable journalists, Jodie and Megan, together with the wonderful people, the great titans we play in the film, Rebecca and Dean, they changed the world with this takedown, with this piece, with taking Harvey down. They started at the top and they took the biggest man down. And it was formidable, and it was earth-shattering, I think.
I would just like to add that this seems like a story of two journalists versus Harvey Weinstein, but it's really the story of two journalists versus a system that protects Harvey Weinstein and the many collaborators and enablers who make that possible. So because of that system, it was allowed to flourish. And Harvey's crimes went, untold, unprotected, undealt with for many years. So for me, the importance of the film is really about establishing the need to destroy the system that protects predators, as opposed to the predator themselves.
Right.
So
yeah.
Thinking also, maybe I'm a little bit cheesy in this sense because I'm a journalist, but what we see in the movie, the words are central, because the investigation that these two great reporters have done through the years, at the end they ended up in a text, not in a text, in an article. So how much is important the power of the words for you today? We live in a society in which videos, audio, everything have overcome probably the written text. So how much is important the power of that? Because everything changed from that article.
Yes. I remember a sentence, the journalists told me about these last nights when they, looked at the article and they said, we were weighing and reweighing word by word. And it stayed with me because I am truly so deeply impressed by the details of the work, of how, how passionate you have to be, how dedicated, how much rounds this needed to go through until it was able to publish. It really reassured my own trust in journalism like that. I'm a language word-driven person. I love language, I love words, I believe in the power of words.
Yeah, I think that's what what a kind of wonderful testament it is to journalism and particularly to the New York Times when you see the rigor that goes into making an article like this and the specificity of the words that are used.
I think words are, yes, absolutely. They're such an fundamental part of the way we communicate and our dialogue and the written word. I think there's a difference in the written word than in the spoken word. I know there is for me. I process it differently. I process it more personally, I think. And so I think its potential to be more powerful is immense.